that bloke who talks about games every Friday? It's me! I think I love retro games. Jace at Retrogames! Yes, hello, I'm here to brighten up your weekend once again. It's going to be a short show. I reckon you've looked at the numbers, you're thinking that's a bit of a short show, Jace. We didn't list much this week, and for those of you who are new to the show, there won't be anybody, but just in case. This is a weekly show where we look at all the new stuff that comes into the retrogames.co.uk website. Everything that we show is available to buy. Yes, come and spend your money. And also sell us your stuff. You know, just email sales@retrogames.co.uk and someone will price your collection and offer you loads of cash. What's wrong with that? How's your week been? Been all right? Yeah? It's been a bit slow, summer. You know, it always takes a bit of a tumble in it mellows out in the summertime. And we're kind of getting there, even though the weather's a bit shaky. But we had a good weekend. I think I'm slightly more tanned than last week. I ventured outside the front door at the weekend. I know. Can you believe it? He went outside. Oh my God, he could have melted. I could have melted, but no, don't worry. The joy of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, reeled me back in again. Back in front of the TV with my joypad. Anyway. On with the show. What are we going to talk about this week? Well, it's another week of sorting out hardware. We are still going through the hardware, sorting out. We have seriously about 70 crates of spares and cables and power supplies and stuff like that to test. So it's incredibly dull time at Retrogames testing out power supplies and cables. And it does mean that it's not stuff that I want to show you in this video, but we will get back to proper games, and I have picked a little selection of machines that hit the site this week which I think are worth talking about. So without further ado, let me grab the first thing out of the imaginary box, and here it is. It's a computer. It's a computer that I don't think we've shown one of these, but it is a classic. It is a Spectrum. Yeah, but it's a Spectrum Plus 3 computer. Now, I'm sure you guys all know what a Spectrum Plus 3 is. Let's just put it on the top screen. It is a ZX Spectrum. It's the final ZX Spectrum to be released, the final proper one. It's during the Amstrad era. Amstrad paid £5 million for Sinclair. Yes, £5 million. That's all that Sinclair cost, £5 million. And you owned the Spectrum and the rights to the Spectrum forever. How crazy is that? And obviously this has a built-in disk drive, 3-inch discs, as seen on the Amstrad CBC. It's all Alan Sugar's fault.
You seem to be obsessed with turds.
There's a big shortage of 3-inch discs anyway. 3-inch discs anyway. They are hard to find. Let's talk about putting them back into manufacture, which would be strange, wouldn't it? But why not? Why not? I mean, there must be someone out there still needing their 3-inch discs. Let's just have a look at the back port. So here we are. Now this is interesting because I've never ever seen a secondary drive. There was no official secondary drive, but it has a disc B slot. Now that's something even hardened Spectrum fans might have forgotten about. This was intended to have dual drives, but it didn't happen. It's also got a printer slot, and that's not a Sinclair printer. That is a whole new kind of printer slot. But I don't remember seeing an Amstrad era Spectrum printer, do you? No, I've never had one. Power supply, and obviously you've got that huge, that 5-pin jack. Is it 5? No, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6-pin jack power supply. So they got rid of all the old power supplies, and they made these giant things. These, the block of doom. These huge Spectrum Plus 3 power supply. The Spectrum Plus 2A, that's the black version with the cassette player instead of this. That uses the same power supply, but it says Plus 2 on it, but it is also compatible with the Plus 3, so don't worry about that. And what else have we got on the back? Yeah, we've got an RGB out, which is fantastic. It means you get a digital signal straight out of this Spectrum. It has an aux, which is a phone socket. I've never figured out what that is. I think there might have been a separate number pad. There was for the QL. I don't know. There's an RS-232 MIDI port. Anybody ever used a ZX Spectrum Plus 3 to make music? But most importantly here, it has a tape input, and it has the normal TV RF out. At the side we've got a reset, 2 joystick ports, horribly not Kempston compatible. You know what this is. It's a Spectrum Plus 3, and I would say this, the great news of this, it comes with a disc. There's a disc, it's got Angle Ball, Motos and Bosconian on. And the reason we've included a disc is because we have a fully working Plus 3, including the drive, yes. And I will admit, someone in our office changed the drive band, so it's a brand new drive band in there. It is 100% functional, and it is a Spectrum Plus 3. And if you collect Spectrums, well, you need to have one, don't you? I mean, I know it's Amstrad made, and I know it uses discs, but Plus 3 discs are far more rare. It's very exciting to collect Plus 3 discs compared to the cassette games, which, you know, 20,000 Spectrum cassette games, and there's probably about 200 Plus 3 releases on disc. I'm estimating there, so if you pick me up, and you say no, there's 422. But that's up to you. That's up to you. We can be pedantic, I don't mind, and I'll give that info out next episode. I know what you're thinking. What's next, Jace? Oh yes, Atari! We all love Atari!
Atari in the house!
Yes, Atari in the house. Now, last time I showed you something Atari, it wasn't very exciting. You might feel the same, but this is very old. This is a hardware item. It's original Atari, and it's from 1979. Yes, let's get that on the top screen. It is a printer. Okay, it's a printer. It's the Atari 822 printer. It uses, you know, like the Sinclair printers. It uses heat to, so there's no ink. It uses heat to burn into the paper. That's how it makes its images. You still get that, you know, post machines, or, you know, you print your post labels. They're like heat activated paper, special paper, where it just burns, it just heats up, and then it makes ink. I'm preaching to the converted, aren't I? But yes, let's have a look at this. This is solid metal. Oh, just tipped it up. I've blown the surprise. Solid metal. It weighs a ton. It is a beast. I mean, they don't make. I mean, it's hard to imagine they made solid metal printers. And there you can see you've got the paper in there. I mean, it's built to withstand a nuclear invasion, I think. We might all be using these one day. These might be the only printers that survive for sending messages to the front line. It comes with its own power supply. It's another big meaty power supply. And it comes with this, a sealed roll of Atari black image thermal. That's the word I was thinking of. Thermal paper. Yeah, so very reliable thermal printers, because there's no ink involved, no cartridges, no, you know, you don't need to. Don't have it. What's the word? It is an ink cartridge, isn't it? An ink cartridge. So yeah, so there's no heads to get clogged up or get damaged. So yeah, very exciting, wasn't it? That was a that was an Atari 822 printer from 1979. I know. What might I find next? Let's see. Well, Atari is still in the house. This is something I've wanted to talk about for a while. This is it's an Atari VCS, and you're thinking, we are retro gamers. We've all seen Atari VCSs. This is a particularly nice one though. It's in lovely condition. Let me put it on the top screen. It is very, very nice, like new really, but it is, and I'll flip it over and show you, it is a Sunnyvale model. Now, Sunnyvale is the factory in America where they initially made Atari VCSs, and you might have probably heard the term, well, Woody, these are generally people say, oh, VCS, Atari, Woody, Woody, but you probably heard the term heavy sixer. Now this isn't a heavy sixer. Heavy sixer has different curved lines around these edges. It's like very smooth and round. That's the way to tell. But this is a light sixer, which they made after that. So I'm not sure if they're probably similar rarity, but people do like the heavy sixer because that is the very first models of the VCS. But yeah, it's traditional. It's got the 6-button out, the 6-slider control. That's why it's called a heavy 6, because it's got 6 sliders. The cartridge slot in the middle, your controller and your power adapter. And unlike that, you have to use like a TV thing, because they have, this is the output, so it doesn't go straight into the TV. You have to have a connector box like this to turn it into a regular TV output. And we're selling this one, it's in beautiful condition, but we could not get it to power on, so we are selling it as spares. And I just thought, well, that's a good excuse to get an original Atari made in America Sunnyvale machine on the show. So I have serial number 61327. That's, I mean, if they go from 1 to whatever, that's quite a low number. So yeah, very nice, lovely collectible machine. Moving on. Yeah, it's boxed. This box. Now this is a bit of a service to one of our regulars, Tetley. You all know Tetley. He won our last competition on the Retrogames show. This is a video pack. It is a video pack, the Phillips video pack, but a really nice boxed one. New this week. He said, "Oh, any chance you put it on the show?" I don't know if he did say that, or maybe I said, "I'll put it on the show, let you have a proper look at it before you buy it," because he wants to wide run through his collection. And it's probably our show that's tempted him, because we've shown quite a bit of video pack stuff. The games are deliciously clunky with their little handles and really super blocky graphics, but really fun tactile games to play. Lots of movement on the joysticks. Let's show 3 great video pack games, just so we know what we're talking about before we get on. Okay, let's begin with Cosmic Conflict, classic shooter. Now initially you think, oh, this looks a bit like Defender, but then you realise no, it's single screen, there's no scrolling, there's no background. It's just those stars dropping all the white blobs and you blowing them up. It's still kind of a fun shooter though. Now this is Pickaxe Pete. This was my wife's first ever experience of video games. Sorry ladies, I am taken. It's a crazy platform game. I mean, you can see what they're trying to do, but you just walk along platforms with a pickaxe hitting the bad guys. You can only go up and down when the random ladders appear, and those blocks in the middle are the doorways. It's strange. Eventually a key will appear, but as you can see it disappears very quickly, and you've got to be on the right level at the right time. Now this is Killer Bees. And this is a strange one. It's got a kind of Smash TV vibe about it. You play a swarm of bees, and at the beginning of the round, here we go, you have to rush over the people, sting them to death, I think. And I always thought they were beehives that were popping up in their place, but now I think they might be just gravestones. So yeah, yeah, it's a strange one, isn't it? And there's rival swarms. It is multiplayer. Yeah, and you're both trying to get as many a multiplier. It's a proper bit of arcade action. Not bad at all. Juggling acrobats. Now, this is a take on Atari's Circus. Very familiar concept. It's Breakout with a seesaw. Quite good fun. But something happens when you miss. Oh, what the heck is that? Now this is possibly one of the strangest games on the video pack. This is Monkey Shines, and as you can see, you pick up monkeys. You're apparently in a cage. You pick up monkeys and tag them and throw them at the other player. It's strange. Is it the origins of Smash Brothers? Maybe, I don't know. It is an odd one, but an odd name too. Monkey Shines. You see what I mean? So yeah, okay, they're early games. They're very simple. They're very blocky. They're a bit blocky, but there's something adorable about the video pack. Odyssey 2, obviously you guys all know that. The Magnavox Odyssey, the first ever games console. We have shown one on the show. You're going to have to watch all the episodes to find out which one it is, because I can't remember. We showed on Odyssey 1, and the Odyssey 2 was the sequel. Came out in the late 70s, and Phillips bought the rights to it and called it the video pack. Video pack's loads of variations, different mods. One including the built-in TV. Is that the 7800? Yeah, it gets confusing with the numbers. There's 7400, 7200. But anyway, the video pack, it basically was an Odyssey 2. But for Europe, we all call it the video pack. Does that make sense? I don't know. It's quite a cool name though, isn't it? The video pack. I mean, you know, they could make a video pack 2, couldn't they? Or Odyssey 3, I guess. But anyway, what do you think? I've got it on the big camera. Isn't it a beautiful box? You've got the full family scene. You've got the mum, you've got the dad. They're wearing the cartridges. Look at the collar on this guy. Can you see the size of that collar? That just signifies how old it is. Lovely blonde-haired boy there in his lovely check shirt. I think he's holding the controller the wrong way around. He can't actually get to the fire button there. Very strange. He doesn't know what he's doing. I don't think the dad knows what he's doing either. They're holding the controllers sideways, and the fire button, yeah, it's tricky to access that way. There's a little girl at the front. She's just like looking like, why are you controlling this, guys, when it's just text on the screen, the starter screen, and yet you're poised with your joysticks. You're not moving anything. It's just total fake randomness. But there's what I really love is this picture on the back. Now I'm going to try and get this up. You can see this is what happened after. So they're all cheering. They are all cheering at the screen. I mean, the mum looks particularly excited there. But there's still just text on the screen. I mean, this family are deranged. All they want to see is just the words video pack written on the TV screen. They are in heaven. That is amazing to them. That's all they want to do. There's another one. This picture is one of my favourites because it just shows the serious nature. Like, we're going to do it for homework. This is it, guys. Right, come on. All round here, we're going to do our homework on the video pack. And all the kids are thinking, yeah, but Dad, that is just the word video pack on the TV screen. We're not going to learn anything from that. Anyway, stop being silly, Jace. Open the box. What's in the box? Let's open it. Yes, it is a nice one. Can you get that on there? So we have the separate power supply. Now these also came with power supplies built in. Yeah, I guess like they do with PS5, PS4, money saving exercise. They start chopping it about, making the components smaller, trying to save money, drive it out cheaper. And with the video pack, they really did that quite nastily because they made hardwired controllers and a hardwired power supply. So all the cables are actually built into the machine, no jacks, no plugs. I mean, how much are they saving by taking away the plugs and the jacks? I don't know, 10p? But they did that. But this is a proper one. It's got a separate power supply. It's got the manual. We all like a good manual. Just show you the manual. You see he's got some startup guide, what to do, how to plug a cartridge in. And here we have, let's get the controllers out. And here we have, and these are proper silver, because they're often black, but the original early video packs, they are silver. You've got working fire buttons. A lot of the time these buttons ping off and you've just got a little small circle there, but if you still press it, it still works and people still persevere. But it is nice when they've got the proper button. Lovely. And this is, of course, with the proper, they've got proper separate cables. Really lovely example. I'm going to get the console out because this one, it is the best video pack we've had in stock for a long time. I just want to get it up close. I can't really show you a console without getting the console out of the box. Here we go, look at that, it is gorgeous. Touch sensitive keyboard, like a ZX81. And there you got actual sockets on the back for the joysticks and the power supply. But it is immaculate, isn't it? It's an immaculate example. That's just polystyrene just falling on there. I think we can agree, Tetley, it's a nice one, but someone might beat you to it now. What's next, Jason? Okay, now this is an unusual one. First time on the show. It is this. Let's get that there. What are you thinking? What the heck? Not one of them. Yes, it is a Telling Colour Stars. A Telling Colour Stars console. It's a British console. It's based on the Grundig Interton. You know, that very unusual. It was released here. The Interton was released here, but it's a German console. Uses exactly the same chip and the same cartridges, but the cartridge slot, they made the cartridges different shapes, so you can't actually use Interton cartridges in here. Works on batteries. It's got a nice clean battery compartment. There you go, lovely. It's a really fun console. A lot of people, there is collectability in this because these are unusual. These are kind of UK specific. There's not many consoles you can say are only in the UK. Also known as the Mercury Commander. The same console, Telling Colour Stars, which is kind of a fancy, nice name. Mercury Commander. I think it's also related to the Rotron consoles. Like, one company just making these strange variations of consoles under different brands. The same games, incompatible cartridge shapes, for the fun of it. They've all got very similar controllers. Very nice though, like a Dragon 32 controller with like an analog stick. Beautiful for playing Pong with something like that. Lovely, like just like a hobby, a Maplin style fire button, I'd say. 2 controllers. Sometimes you also get a speed controller for the motorbike game, which comes down here. This has got a few interesting. It's got a tank battle game. It's got them motorbike games with the speed controller and jumping over buses, dragster sort of game. But it's mainly Pong. There's a gun for it. It's an advanced TV game like the Grandstand machines, like the 2600 or like the Admin TV games. Again, very similar, all the same. But what's the other company? There's another one. The Ingersoll made one that's like front loading. All the same games. They all use the same proprietary arcade board in there, and they all run on the same games. There wasn't so many releases for Colour Stars. I think less than 10. I think less than 10. And here we've got some original paperwork for it, which is unusual. Here we go. It's just that joystick control there. It just shows it. There's you can see the cards. Number 1 paddle, ball paddle games. Yeah, and there you have just some boring. Yeah, a bit boring. What else is in this bag? This is a bit of the box. Just a bit of the box, with a screenshot on to tell you how to play one of the games. That's the tank battle game on there. But yeah, that is a telling Colour Stars. And I know if you're too excited, but there is something else to show you. What's next, Jace? And the last thing on our short show today is hardware again. It's all hardware today. As that's what we're working on, you know, I've got to keep it honest. I can't just pretend that we've had stuff that isn't. Anyway, on the big screen, it is a computer that you guys are always raving about. It is a Texas TI-99. We don't get them in very often, so I thought it was a good excuse to get it on the show. This is Texas Instruments. Apparently this is a 16-bit machine. Who knew? Who knew? Apparently the TI-99 is the first home 16-bit computer. I always thought it was the QL, but apparently the chip in this is technically a 16-bit chip. The Texas TI-99 has got some great games. We debated recently about Space Invaders and compared it to the Atari version. That wasn't that long ago. Let's start with the machine itself. Get the computer out. Yeah, that's lovely, isn't it? A lovely thing. So you have that giant cartridge slot there. It's got it's proper aluminium metal. Forget your Commodores and Spectrums and plastic. This has got proper metal fascia. Lovely. I mean, it is plastic. Everywhere else is plastic. Like the ColecoVision we showed you last week, you've got a little slot in the side, and you might remember there's the speech unit that just snugs up to the side and lets you have games with speech in. You can play the same games without speech. But that big slidey cartridge slot room. Also, you can play games on tape. You've got joystick ports in the side, and the joystick ports are unusual because you've got 2 joysticks on the one cable. Now let's do the joysticks next. Yeah, so these are Texas TI joysticks. I think they're very retro. I mean, it's incredibly retro. So you hold them in your palm, you've got your thumb on the button, and you move around, and it's got a lovely tension to that. There is a really good feeling of the movement there. It's tight. It bounces back. It's sprung. It's solid, it's responsive, it's a nice feeling, nice for playing games. It's got another huge power supply, massive power supply on this. No, I can't think of another machine where the cassette connection is actually the same as an Atari. And this is an official cable. You can see it's got the Texas. I don't know if you can pick that up. It's got the Texas logo on. But yeah, so for the cassette player, that is an Atari style joystick output. It's very strange. And one of the most annoying things about the TI-99 for me is it doesn't have RF out. No, you have to have this separate RF box. You remember like the Amiga modulator that plugs in the back? This is its equivalent. It's on a cable, like a DIN cable, and then you have an RF cable that goes out to the TV. These are prone to going wrong. But it's an unusual situation. It just makes it a lot more awkward. So you've got that massive power brick. You've got you've got that, and then you've got this massive slab of TV cable. But that is the Texas TI-99, and I'm just going to show you a couple of games on there just to finish off. A couple of TI-99 classics. I'm picking games that we have got in stock. Good move, yeah? So here is a classic. This is Parsec. Yes, 16-bit. Hard to believe. Brilliant. Yes, this has got the speech adapter plugged in. It's a very, you see they put the logo in the bottom of the scene, the TI logo. It's cheeky. It's slow. It's blocky. It's a classic cartridge that sold loads for TI-99 though. What about this? This is Alpina, another huge hit for the TI-99. Very old, 1980 I think this is. It's a climbing simulator. You're collecting as you go.
Beware, falling objects.
Yeah, I love the speech though, I do. But then suddenly you just arrive. Oh, I've arrived. You don't kind of ascend to the top, you just suddenly, oh, I'm there, like an emergency. Okay, Blasto. A tank battle game where you've got to clear the screen, blow up the bombs. It's pretty fun, it's a good idea. But listen to the way the music is like on interrupt. It restarts after every shot. Let me shut up and let you see. I'm sorry, that use of sound, it's just aggravating. It's like it wants to... Why'd you keep restarting? Just continue from where you left off. Oh, it had more channels than this. Okay, this is a classic game. This is Car Wars. It's a version of the coin-op head-on. I don't know why we like this game. I mean, it's just frustrating, isn't it? It's kind of a mix of Pac-Man and driving and bang. Yeah, lots of versions of this. Crash on the Coleco by XD. Yeah, I used to like this game in the arcade, but oh, it's just infuriating. Oh, you try and avoid these people. And let's finish off with this. This is the classic Munchman cartridge. It is the TI-99's answer to Pac-Man, obviously, but it's very fast. It's a very nippy game, and as you can see, rather than collecting the dots, you're actually laying your own trail. It's a bit like Puking Man, because he's just constantly leaving a trail rather than the dots. And you notice the power pills are the TI-99 logo again. Bit of lots. If you can advertise, get it in there. Get it in there. There we have it, the TI-99 in action. Thanks for watching another show. Who knows what I'll have to show you next week, if anything. We're still so up to our next in hardware. You'll have to you're just living it with us. You're living it with, if you follow the channel and you follow the website, you know, we go through phases of listing different sorts of things, and we're just still, we don't want to just stop sorting the hardware when we get into a position where we can really feel like we've got somewhere. So we could well be sorting hardware again next week and maybe even the week after. But don't get bored, it's still me, it's still fun. Thanks for watching, Retro Gamers. Until next week!
Retrogames says thank you for watching. Retrogames says thank you for watching.
So do you think the lack of actual physical games on the show is starting to affect the viewing figures?